Good evening and welcome to the news roundup for Thursday the 6th of July. Before we get into the news, please remember to like this video, share your views in the comments and share the video with your family and friends.
Reach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
Now for the news in detail. The head of a man who the Manchester police listed as wanted for rape, burglary, assault at common law and unlawful wounding was found in a shopping bag at Whitney Turn near the Manchester-Clarendon border on Thursday morning. The head was identified as that of Rohan Barrett, otherwise called Black Seed, a resident of Porus in the parish. Reports are that about 6:30 a.m., Barrett's head was found at a food stall along the Whitney Turn main road, close to the intersection with Mount Pleasant Road. The owner of the food stall where the head was discovered said he believes that the head was put there so it would be easily seen. The head was in a brown shopping bag that you would carry to the supermarket. They carried the head come put down in front of the stall for somebody to see it, the vendor said. Two men who are alleged to be goat thieves were shot and chopped to death in Adelphi, St. James on Thursday morning. They are Alex Green of Charlie Drive in Portobello, St. James, and Dwight Campbell, also of a St. James address. The police say about 5 a.m., gunshots were heard coming from a section of the community. Around 7 a.m., residents stumbled upon the bodies of the two men. One of the men was lying along a dirt road with gunshot and chop wounds, while the other man, who also had multiple gunshot wounds to his upper body, was discovered sitting around the steering wheel of a Toyota Noah bus. The police recovered a number of live goats from the bus. One farmer in the community told reporters that they have formed their own neighborhood watch because men fitting the description of the two deceased have been traveling around stealing cattle. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is advising that members of the public are to expect a longer than normal wait time at hospitals. This, the ministry said in a press release yesterday, is a result of the increasing number of patients requiring care at accident and emergency departments. The ministry, along with the 4 regional health authorities responsible for the operation of the island's public hospitals, is working to ensure that the triage system is optimized and that additional customer care personnel are deployed in the A&E waiting areas to address the concerns of patients and provide the necessary updates. The ministry further asks that members of the public exercise patience during this time and crave understanding, as health professionals work to ensure the best health outcome for all. Davian Bryan, the serial rapist and abductor responsible for multiple crimes, has been sentenced to a maximum of 25 years in prison for kidnapping and sexually assaulting a college student in Portland. Bryan pleaded guilty to forcible abduction, grievous sexual assault, and rape in relation to the incident that occurred on March 10 of 2022. He was sentenced to 9 years and 3 months for abduction, 16 years and 9 months for sexual assault, and 25 years for rape. The judge ordered him to serve 18 years before being eligible for parole. The victim, a second-year student, was abducted on her campus and taken to bushes where Bryan raped her. He threatened her with a knife and further assaulted her before she managed to escape and report the incident. Bryan was apprehended by the police in March of 2022 and confessed to the crimes. Prior to this case, Bryan had abducted and assaulted several other girls in St. Thomas in 2021. In May of this year, he pleaded guilty to 12 counts of rape, sexual assault and abduction related to the St. Thomas incidents, and received a sentence ranging from 8 to 23 years. The Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions is urging for more personnel and resources to be allocated to the Communication Forensic and the Cybercrime Division (CFCD) of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. This request follows the dismissal of several lottery scamming cases due to insufficient evidence presented by the prosecution. The DPP's office revealed that the CFCD's reports account for most of the missing evidence in these cases, and the division is responsible for analyzing, extracting, and presenting information obtained from electronic devices seized during lottery scam investigations. The reports are crucial for viable prosecutions, and without them, the case cannot proceed. During the Easter sitting of the Trelawney Circuit Court, the prosecution disposed of 71 cases, with 52 of them having no evidence presented. The DPP's office attributes the problem to a high attrition rate among JCF analysts and a shortage of personnel to handle the workload. The DPP's office also emphasizes that delays without reasonable excuse can undermine due process and fairness to the accused. When CFCD reports are not provided even after significant periods, it forces prosecutors to offer no evidence, violating the accused's constitutional right to a timely due process. Given the increasing prevalence of cybercrime and the use of electronic devices in criminal cases, the DPP's office calls for greater assistance from CFCD analysts. Several police divisions have recorded increases in murders and shootings, despite an overall reduction in serious crimes compared with last year. According to statistics from the Jamaica Constabulary Force, up to July 2 of this year, there have been 666 murders. St. James with 99 murders and Westmoreland with 63 are the police divisions with the highest number of murders. The St. Andrew South Police Division recorded 60 murders, followed by Clarendon with 58. In relation to shootings, St. Andrew South has the highest number with 61, followed by St. Catherine South with 55. Westmoreland and St. James both recorded 51 shootings. A 24-year-old waiter of Percy District in St. Ann was charged with murder following the stabbing death of an elderly shopkeeper in Wat Town in the parish on Sunday, July the 2nd. David Morris, otherwise called Patchagray, was charged for the murder of 71-year-old Herbert Sims, otherwise called Tallman of Wat Town. Reports from the Brownstone police are that about 12:55 a.m., Sims was inside his shop when Morris entered and used a ratchet knife to inflict stab wounds to his neck. The police were alerted, and upon their arrival, Sims was seen lying face down in a pool of blood. He was transported to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. An investigation was launched and Morris was apprehended during a police operation. He was charged on Tuesday the 4th of July after confessing to the crime in a caution statement during a question and answer session. His court date is being finalized. A woman who is wanted in the United States for alleged lottery scamming was arrested in St. James on Thursday. 36-year-old customer service representative Sharika Goodison of Paradise Acres, Norwood Meadows in the parish was arrested during a joint police operation in the Montego Hills police area. The operation was carried out by members of the Jamaica Fugitive Apprehension Team, the Lottery Scamming Task Force, Area 1 Operational Support Team, and their counterparts from the United States. Goodison is wanted in the US for mail fraud, wire fraud, and lottery scamming activities. She was arrested pending an extradition hearing. Sharon Campbell, a 40-year-old resident of Portland, is said to be sentenced on October 27th for the murder of a German national. The victim was stabbed over 40 times at her home in Portland on the 14th of January 2014. After a 12-day trial that began on June 19, Campbell was found guilty of murder by a 7-member jury. The prosecution presented evidence suggesting that Campbell's motive for the murder was jealousy, as her boyfriend, Tyrone Nugent, was involved in a common-law relationship with the deceased. Nugent was in a relationship with Campbell since 2011, and even after he moved in with the deceased, he maintained an intimate relationship with Campbell. Scientific evidence revealed that the deceased's blood was found on the blouse worn by Campbell during the incident. Campbell admitted to being at the scene and that the knife believed to be the murder weapon belonged to her. However, in her unsworn statement during the trial, Campbell claimed that Nugent was the one who did the stabbing. Nugent discovered the deceased covered in blood outside the house and immediately reported the incident to neighbors and the police. He cooperated with the police in locating Campbell. Nugent himself was initially charged with murder and misprision of a felony, but was later acquitted after a no-case submission by his defense lawyer. A 21-year-old ex-soldier is set to answer several criminal charges after he was held in connection with a robbery at a shop in Hector's River District, Portland on the 29th of June. He is Carrie J. Price of Blacksmith Lane, C14, St. Thomas. He is charged with robbery with aggravation, unauthorized possession of a prohibited weapon, using a prohibited weapon to commit a felony, and assault at common law. A media release from the Jamaica Constabulary Force's Corporate Communications Unit states that Price and another masked man armed with handguns allegedly entered a shop about 1:15 p.m. and robbed persons of cash and cellular phones. The men then fired shots before escaping in a motor car. No one was injured. A report was made to the police and Price was arrested and charged on Wednesday. He is said to appear in the Port Antonio Parish Court on Friday. In attempts to cast demons out of female members of the Kwahal Yahweh religious group, investigators are claiming that the heads and the pubic areas of the women at the Paradise Norwood compound in Montego Bay, St. James, were shaved publicly and they were beaten severely by their leaders. The commanding officer in charge of the St. James Police, Senior Superintendent Vernon Ellis, said investigations have revealed that, quote, they say they were beating the devil out of them, removing evil spirits from them, end quote. Ellis is calling for individuals who may have been abused or assaulted over the years and who may have witnessed this happening to anyone to come forward with the information, which can be used to strengthen the case. A man who was gunned down along Kent Avenue in St. James on Tuesday has been identified. He is 39-year-old taxi operator Marvin Christie, otherwise called Bolo, of Crawford Street in Mount Salem. Reports from the Barnett Street Police are that about 12:30 a.m., Christie and another man were sitting on a wall along the popular tourist hip strip when he was ambushed and shot by men traveling in a motor car. The police were summoned and upon arrival, Christie was found lying in blood with multiple gunshot wounds. The scene was processed and he was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. In business, Jamaica's construction industry declined for the 12 months leading to March this year. The Statistical Institute of Jamaica says the gross domestic product for construction declined by 4.2% in the first quarter. This was influenced by reduced activities in both the building construction and the civil engineering projects. The quarter's performance represents a 17.3% decline in the industry over the 4 quarters. Statin says lower expenditure on the South Coast Highway Improvement Project was the main contributor to the fall in civil engineering projects. In sports, Jamaica secured its first gold medal at the CAC Games on Wednesday night in El Salvador, when sprinter Yannick Daly won the women's 200 meters to increase the country's medal tally to 10. Daly sped to 22.80 seconds to win the half-lap event. This was the second medal of the game for Daly, who had taken silver in the 100 meters on Monday. In netball, the Sunshine Girls hammered the Dominican Republic 110-7 to record their second win at the Games. Jamaica's 10-medal haul so far is inclusive of 1 gold, 5 silver, and 4 bronze. And on the entertainment scene, Christine Biles, the daughter of reggae singer Kenneth Jr. Biles, has announced that she has power of attorney over her father's affairs and is seeking assistance for him. Junior Biles, who is 74 years old, has been struggling with mental health issues and resides in his family home in Kingston, where he receives care from 2 caregivers. Christine, who currently lives overseas, has been in close contact with her father's doctor and has made changes to his medication. Previously, Junior Biles' sister was assisting with his affairs, but she has passed on the responsibility to Christine. The family acknowledges that Junior Biles' condition has worsened with age, and they have been searching for the best ways to support him. In February of 2020, Christine had set up a GoFundMe page to raise funds for her father's medical bills as he has been in and out of hospital and faces mounting expenses. The family hoped that reggae fans would contribute to improving his quality of life and provide more treatment options. At this time, the campaign has raised over $6,500 towards its goal of $15,000. And that is it for your news roundup for today. We would appreciate you liking this video, leaving a comment, and sharing the video with your family and friends. Have a good evening and see you next time.